going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 879 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Pyles, joined today by JD Rader. He is back. He issued a press release in my Slack last night where he issued a statement that he was back. Then Askren never left. Either did his hair.
Did JD make the event last night for you guys or no?
I was back.
He was back. He was not at the event. But he was blogging it.
That's right.
Ben, I can see the tuft of hair that you have to cut right there.
Oh, is it down there? Oh, yeah, that one. I cut that one because it goes right here and it freaking drives me crazy.
Yep.
All right, I got a big idea. A steam room this morning. I let my idea percolate. Are you guys ready for it or what?
All right, put it in the percolator.
Okay, so I listened to Coach Smith's interview last night from the Southern Scuffle, 10-minute interview on none other than the FloWrestling done by the great Mark Bader.
Well, that was Kyle Klingman, but it's okay.
What's up?
That was Kyle Klingman, but that's okay.
That wasn't Mark Bader?
No. Did you listen to
it?
Are
you telling me I don't know my best friend's voice?
That's what I have to, unfortunately, tell you right now.
I swear to God, that is Mark Bader. I mean, you can't see the person interviewing, but I was listening to the voice, and I thought, this is Mark Bader.
They don't sound that similar. I'm going to have to go and listen.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Fake Friend award here. Just not,
don't
know your guy.
Okay. I swear that was Mark Bader. Anyways. Wow, bad ears. I did hear Coach Smith because the video camera was on him. So that coupled with what we were talking about yesterday and everything else, Coach Smith said that we need a dictator to push an idea through. So I want to be a dictator and I want to push an idea through. Are you ready for my idea?
Yes, sir.
Okay. From Thanksgiving to Christmas, there are only open tournaments, no team scoring. No one needs to participate, and it would be mostly for non-starters. Obviously, if a team wanted to do like a wrestle-off type situation, a tournament, they'd be welcome to do it. Kids can get matches if they want to, but no official tournaments, only opens. Okay? Once you get back from Christmas, we start an 8-week regular season where we do 2 duels per week. Okay? So an organized, systemized season. You may do these duels on a Friday, Sunday like the Big Ten does, or you may do a tri-duel where there's 3 teams that meet up and they each do 2 duels for the day. Okay, but you're getting 2 duels per week. At the end of that 8 weeks, you have 16 matches, and then anything additional if you did participate in some open tournaments, you have additional matches, right? No one wants to do more than that anyways. You talk about people not doing full tournaments, forfeiting out, et cetera, et cetera. At the end of that 8 weeks, you wrestle your conference tournament, which then qualifies you for the individual national tournament, which is a week break and then the tournament, right? Okay, so we're at 11 weeks. National tournament, that's great. Okay, you take a 1-week break after that. You do 2 dual meet weekend where you do the round of 16 and the round of 8. And then the weekend after that, you have everyone, it's not everyone, Final Four, which is everyone, Final Four, meet in a singular location and you do either a Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, or something, right? 2 duels that weekend to determine the dual national champion. How do you feel about this?
That is some fantastic percolating you did. I think it's great. I would love that. One question. So basically you're eliminating all tournaments.
Yeah. So if they want to do, and you really think about it, the tournaments kind of suck now. Midlands was not deep. Scuffle was not deep. Vegas was the one really good tournament. And then besides that, a lot of these teams are doing these smaller type tournaments. And everyone is saying too many matches, too long, right? And so for the majority of teams, that season that I just laid out is 11 weeks. That's it. And because obviously there's only be 16 teams that make the further playoff. Yes, you'll have some matches prior to that for your redshirting guys or your non-starters. But I think one of the other things is people struggle. I was texting with someone else today, and they wanted to make kind of a system. And it's like, well, you can't have a system because there's no structure. So they wanted a point system. But how do you have a point system when there's no structure in place, right? Because people are doing everything. Some people are doing 3 tournaments. Some people are doing no tournaments. So we need a structure because then you could also create like a fantasy league, where people are into it. You could create habits where people know every Sunday they're watching freaking NFL football. I don't watch it, but people do that, right? So if every Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday that the wrestling's on at this time, you create habits. Habits are good. Dual meets and this is what Coach Smith was talking about. And he's so right. And I love it. I'm freaking hardcore. I'll sit at the damn NCAA tournament and watch 14 hours if I had to. I love it. But no one but the hardcores watch that. They really don't. And then he was saying, well, what if there's a non-hardcore fan that just wants to watch Keegan O'Toole or Rocky Elam? So, well, what time do I tell them to tune in? I don't freaking know. I can make kind of a guess, but it's kind of a wide time window. You know what? They're going to wrestle first session. Keegan O'Toole probably wrestle, we'll say from 1 hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours and 30 minutes after the start of the session.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not sure. So if we create a systemized thing that people can watch, everyone's got 16 matches. And then, I mean, that should be enough to see the conference tournaments because you could wrestle all your conference opponents within the 16 matches plus a few others.
Yeah, I see no issues with it, Ben.
Yes, let's do it. College coaches, you listen to me. Appoint me in charge of the board, and I'll make.
Yeah. Wait, you just ruined a lot of stuff for us. What about non-conference duels?
I said there's 16 duels, so I mean, even the Big 12, Big 10, if they wrestle all teams, it's only 13. Okay. They don't have to. They don't do it right now. They could do it. What, they do 10 or 11?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's 5 out of conference. That's fine.
There you go. Then we get
most conferences are smaller.
Okay.
Right. Most conferences are smaller. They'll have like seven in conference duels, and then they'd have to get together with some out of conference duels. Say like the Pac-12, for example, they'd only have 5, so they're gonna have to go find some other ones.
Okay.
All right. So we're doing it. We're pushing it through. This is a new FloWrestling backed idea for a college season.
Yeah, this is our official stance moving forward.
All right. What other flaws am I missing here? So I think I covered all the bases. So I think I covered organized and systematized so we could do fantasy leagues. People know when to expect things. I think I covered we keep the national championship as it is. Everyone loves that. We add a dual national championship that has a structure that we made the season shorter, which everyone wants that to happen. We still provide the open tournaments and matches for people before, and it doesn't go as early, right? You can't start till after Thanksgiving, which is great because it is. I mean, the fact that some people start November 1st and they don't end till nearly April that one is ridiculous. I always thought, and like I said, I love wrestling and I would wrestle a lot if I got the opportunity. But starting like November 1 was like, why are we doing that?
Yeah, it's early. It's a long season. It's tough. I know some teams approach the beginning of the season very, very differently as a result because of how long it is.
They should.
Yeah. Some do, some don't. Some come out of the gates ready to go, and can be tough to maintain that from November to March. Yeah, I don't see a lot of holes in it right now. I also don't. I know you're a dreamer, Ben. And,
I am both a dreamer and a doer, and that's because like I dreamed this thing at AWA, and I'm effing making it happen.
Yeah, but that's something you can single.
I know. I need to figure out a way to be in charge of this damn committee.
Yeah.
Who's putting me in charge?
Who's putting Ben in charge? That's the question.
So no open tournaments for guys the second half?
No last chance open.
I think that could be like so obviously my proposal kind of only covers Division 1 because it's not Division 2 and Division 3. So I think you probably have some of those still. I think you could still have them, but it would be like it's one of those things where I think people would just focus on just the duels, and then because there would be not a lot of big names and probably only non-starters and red shirts going to those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they could still be there. People just wouldn't.
Could starters still go to the tournaments in the first part?
Yeah. Of course they can. But it's some. So I mean
that's basically what we do now.
Well, it's a little bit, but there's no team score, right? So there's no like we need everyone to go, and then the fans
don't care about team titles now.
They do, yeah they do.
Maybe Vegas. That's about it.
Vegas. They don't care.
At Vegas, people are caring, and they want their guys entered. So,
well, you have to. You only get one entry.
Yeah.
Even then, a lot of times they don't send their top guys if a guy's hurt, or sort of hurt, or not feeling it, or whatever.
Yeah. But so I think if people would, I think a lot of like regular fans maybe wouldn't pay as much attention to that portion of the season because it's like, well, here's some non-starters, and then honestly, if I'm the coach, I would probably send all my guys to like one of those tournaments, and that's it. Probably maybe like mid-December, we go to one tournament, and then we, take a little break, get ready for our dual season, and roll.
I
You're
don't
going to
see
get
it.
25 matches still. I mean, 16 duels, right? 16 duels plus conference plus nationals. That's going to be like 25.
I don't see how it's that much different other than
Because you're
the dual
organizing.
team
So
title.
what I'm taking is not that much different. You're organizing it. You're organizing it in really nice fashion, right? Now it's all over the place. And then you're creating a dual national title, which that's about the biggest part, right? And that's it, right? Organization. Organization is huge. People know what to expect. What if you just had freaking NFL football games at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday? No one knew when to expect them.
I mean, it kind of happens.
3 p.m. on a Wednesday?
They do them Monday, Thursday. Later in the season, they'll do them Saturday. Obviously, they do them all day Sunday.
Okay, but for how many years was it almost only Sundays? Plus one Monday. I mean, we're talking 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
You're
And
probably
they're
not old
like,
enough to
oh,
remember
we
that.
should take more days.
All right. So that's Ben's idea. We'll see what happens. Ben, give us an update in a month. See how much progress you've been able to
Okay.
make.
Yeah, I need to be in a
Wait.
position of power. Who's
Yep.
going to put me there?
Okay. You should try by not pissing off 80% of wrestling populace from time to time. That's going to be that's going to
You know what? I don't
probably
think
help.
it's that high. I think most
No,
college
it's
wrestling coaches, I think most of them, there's probably a few that don't like me, I'm sure.
They like you when
I think-
one of your athletes goes in the portal, which we haven't mentioned that yet. But Mitchell
Well, hold
Messenbrink.
on. Let's not. Can we just finish this thought? Oh, let's wrap this up and we can talk about
Okay.
it. Yes, because yes, that is true. Totally true. But no, I think most of them like me because they know I'm gonna like these fans are a little biased, so they think I'm not telling the truth, but I'm just telling the truth about what I see. I admit my bias towards Missouri and I admit my bias towards AWA, but besides that, I try to call it fair.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
And okay. Do you want to talk about Mitchell at all?
I don't know. Do you want to talk about him?
Okay.
Yeah, everyone's texting me. Yes, because I have too many friends in the last 2 days.
Yeah, everyone's like, Ben, how was your holidays? I hope this text finds you well. By the way, heard a little rumor.
No, most of them are. Well, he did an interview, so most of them I just sent the interview to. So here, you listen to what he says, and so he doesn't. He's not going to the portal till March because it felt like, why have all these people start calling him when there's not really a purpose? When he can't go start doing the things.
Well,
Um,
it was then maybe doing an interview and saying that you're transferring is not. If you're trying to keep the
well, everyone's going to start asking. I mean, obviously, I advised him, right? Everyone's going to start asking questions. Where's he at? Why is he not on the roster? Why is he at AWA? He's gonna be in the back of some video or picture.
Yeah.
And so it's better. I always find with media stuff, it's way better to just make a statement rather than let people assume what's going to happen. When people start assuming what happened, oh, I heard this, I heard that, it's like, nah, let's just say what happened and then we're done with it,
Yeah. No,
So-
that makes sense too.
Yeah. No, but so he's not going to the portal. He's going to train. He's going to do a bunch of freestyle tournaments this spring because he really, really, really likes freestyle. Focused on trying to win a 20 under world championship this year because he was close last year. And then, obviously, at some point in the spring, he'll probably do some recruiting trips and then make a pick. He can, to my knowledge and my understanding of the rules, he can train at RTCs. So he might be going places and training at RTCs in the next couple of months.
Coming to an RTC near you? Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so we wish Mitchell well, and we wish your phone well, as many Division I coaches are.
Most of them were really
angling.
they didn't fluff it up. They just said, "Hey man, tell me what's up here." And I said, "Okay, here's what's up."
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, he would make a lot of teams better, that's for sure.
Yes.
Plenty of good teams need a 57 or 65, whichever he projects at. That's exciting. All right, let's talk about the duel last night, and then we'll get into this weekend. We got a lot to get to. Not hypothetically, stuff that's going to happen. Cornell, Arizona State, really fun dual meet. The best match of the night, without a doubt, was Mikhail McGee versus Vito Aruja. Match going into it, I'll admit now, I was not that excited about it because it was so one-sided for Vito last time. I know it wasn't a bonus point win, but you're just like, I don't know. How's Mikhail going to make this up? And I'll be darned. I'll be darned if he wasn't right there to win this match.
Oh yeah, he was.
And the key exchange, there were a couple.
But even if he won that match, they would lose the duel. But I guess you would say that they had a chance at 41 also.
Yeah, they had a chance at 41.
Can we watch some of these exchanges? They were fantastic.
We can. By law.
That low double was like a freaking sniper.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Was it a low double? I thought it was just a
low single.
He caught an ankle and got the he caught the ankle, got the other leg. That's low double. Watch it.
That was like a John Smith low single, and then
he goes single. He catches the foot here and he catches the leg here. Boom.
Okay.
Yeah.
JD's gonna get the.
All right, you want to intro the exchange that we were gonna talk about? Because I freaking I got a hot take, but you probably already know how I feel.
So we saw. It's curious that we happened to see, or coincidental, I guess is maybe the word. We saw 2 rear standing, no reaction time takedowns at the event last night. They're pretty rare. You don't see them that much. That's why when the Laird Dean sequence happened, a lot of people, Penn State fans especially, were like, "That's not 2. There was no reaction time, et cetera, et cetera." Yes. But the way the rule is, it's like good call, bad rule. And I've kind of felt similarly about all of them. That like, man, if you get rear standing, a guy hits a Granby or a hand touches for a split second, it's not really a takedown in a traditional sense.
It's not.
It ultimately was a big part of the difference for this match because
absolutely was. Okay, I freaking yes, by the rules, the referee called it correctly. I freaking hate this rule. I said it with the Dean and Laird that say, I'm repeating you, right? Good. Can we watch that low double first? Do we know what that is? I said it with you is good call, bad rule. I mean, but yeah, and this one's even worse because, in the air, McGee makes himself relatively perpendicular. So when they actually like come down to the mat, McGee's kind of off to the side and Vito is not even really all the way behind him. And so I would argue it kind of wasn't even rear standing.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, I don't know how you could say it wasn't rear standing.
Well, by the time they land, watch. Okay, we'll pause it. When they land, they're at about 90 degrees to each other.
Yeah.
So that
so we're gonna have
really behind him.
And I was like, man, I know he was trying to build the lead. But Vito is so good with this drag here. So that's rear standing right there. And
pause right there. You see how far he got out to the side by the time he landed?
Yes, he was like, they were basically completely perpendicular. But I think once you establish that rear standing, status or whatever you want to call it, I think they're going to give that takedown. Yeah,
I freaking hate it. I think it's I mean, to me, how it makes me feel as the ref is that the coaches think the refs are idiots because it's like you're telling me as a ref you need to mandate a takedown because you don't think that they can call what a takedown is, and that's bull. That's bull, right? The referees are good; they're trained; they can call takedowns, and that one. In my understanding, folks, about wrestling, I know the NCAA made a stupid rule that ain't a takedown. Same with I feel the same way with Laird and Dean. Like, no, if we're in the room, if we're rolling the room, like, no, you didn't take me down. Like you tried to take me down, but you didn't get there.
Yeah, exactly. I actually kind of lost you in my ear for a second there, Ben. Are you still there?
Am I back?
Crap, my
not back.
Died. Can you hear him?
JD, can you hear me?
Yes. Right, there we go. I got him back. This thing you gotta jiggle. These boxes are very
finicky.
Yeah, they're finicky. Good word. Yeah, so I don't care for the rule, but until they change, there's a lot of rules I don't like. So I don't know the solution at this point other than eliminating it. It's just I don't understand the concept of different scenarios of how you get to a takedown. Determine where you are before you get a takedown should not matter if it's a takedown or not, right? Like that even, to me, I can't explain that to someone why that makes sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Because if
there was
I
another,
got to that,
what was the other sequence? There's another sequence in the duel, Christian, where it took the referee so long to call a takedown, and I thought, I mean, this compared to rear standing, like he's had control for like 4 or 5 seconds, in my opinion, and the ref's still not calling a takedown.
was it the Yanni near side cradle?
No, that one was a little bit late. No, it was early in the duel. I don't remember which match it was.
Yeah.
But it was like the guy hit a shot, and the other guy was kind of on his side and trying to fight back in a little bit, but the guy clearly had both legs covered, and you know, it was obvious.
Yeah, it's weird that you have to clear different thresholds to get a takedown for the same thing. That's what I don't.
Yes,
that's what I don't understand.
So yeah, whoever pushes roll through, push it back out.
Yeah, push it back out. Let's regurgitate this rule.
So if McGee or Vasquez flop, what you have is a 16-15 duel. Both get 5 wins and 1 bonus. One of the things I was disappointed at, and if I was my coach, I'd be yelling at my athletes on this one, on both teams. So no one get mad at me. I felt like the favorites from 165 to heavyweight, they were not wrestling like the duel was in the balance. So Ramirez gets up big, doesn't go and get the major. Yeah. Right? He got up, 5 or 6-0. Foca's third period. Boy, Chris Foca came to a Funky Fresh camp, so I could talk to him like this. Chris Foca, you get your ass in gear and wrestle that damn third period. You got to get 1 takedown to tech him. Like, freaking get it done, dude. Like, that was unacceptable.
Well, he sat there in
that chest wrap for the last 35 seconds.
He also pinned him multiple times.
Yeah, he did pin him.
Yeah. Okay, listen, the ref didn't call the pin. You got to get the tech fall, dude. Like, you sat that chest wrap for 35 seconds not trying. That was unacceptable. That's not acceptable. Freaking get it done.
I sort of noticed that too. There were, and I sort of alluded to, like, man, a lot of fast starts. But there wasn't a lot. Like,
Montalvo got up 6-0 and then gassed out.
He totally gassed out. I thought the 57 match, the McClanahan kid gets that first takedown, all kinds of energy, looks great, but then never really got back to it. Same thing, Ramirez seemed like he had a real advantage there against Negron. So then Cardenas also kind of
double
leg in the first 5 seconds.
Yeah, and then just happy to ride almost the entire third period and win by 4. Like, I don't know, you're way better than that dude. You can probably go take him down a few more times at least. And then Schultz versus Fernandez, that rep was happy to start hitting some. You only need 2 more stalls and you get a DQ.
Yeah,
like, push his ass out of bounds some more. Yeah. The ref's gonna call it. Like, what are we waiting for here, Colton?
Someone who definitely was trying to score for 7 minutes was Brandon Courtney. I thought he looked fan-freaking-tastic. He was. And a major wasn't really a reality in that
2 more
in that third period, but he was still wrestling. He just wanted to get another takedown.
That last sequence where he tried jumping over him was pretty sick.
Yeah, like he was wrestling like he was losing in that third period. It was.
Yes.
You got to be encouraged, and you have to assume he's going to be the guy for Arizona State moving forward. They have a comparison now with the Unger match for both of them. I think Courtney just looked really, really good there. So I predict him to be the guy for Arizona State. And then 33, definitely match of the night, performance of the night. Mikhail McGee, I think, made a lot of fans last night too. Everyone's like, that guy is so good. I don't know if we can pull his first takedown in, but it was lightning. You know, Vito does this weird, like, smell my hand thing with his right hand. I don't.
Smell my hand?
That's what I call it. I don't know what it is. It's this weird thing. You see, it's not this.
Yeah, it kind of dangles it out there a little bit.
Yeah. But I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think he sort of timed that right and then just darted right in.
Smell my hand. You know who timed something really well? It was actually Alira. I meant to bring this up yesterday. Alira's in the finals. Hart did a quick, he went to do this with his headgear and freaking Alira's hit him with that double. The last takedown. Do you guys remember that?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it was Hart went to fix his headgear. As soon as his hands went up, Alira's fired in and scored a takedown.
Dang.
Yeah, that's interesting. Good, very good timing.
All right, we're about to pull in that opening.
That first double?
That first takedown.
Or single? Yeah. We're not sure.
I could have sworn it was just a John Smith low single, but I mean, now you.
Well, he goes single first and then finishes with double. I always call that low single.
But watch, left hand goes to the leg and then right hand goes to the.
Ben's gonna be
Ben's
right.
We always
here.
called that low single, but taking out the trash for the finish. That's what we always called it.
Yeah, this is trash compactor.
Oh,
All right,
applause.
keep her rolling.
I got a move called the trash compactor. It's really good.
Right
there, boom.
Yeah, I call that
a low single.
Yeah, low single. And that's just how John Smith shows it on how low you can go. He should.
Yeah, but
you
how
go
many people
here, head crashes at the knee, and you double.
But when you can pause it and he only has 1 foot, and then the right hand is at his waist. But when the right hand is at his waist, I call that a single, and then you finish to the double.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the low double is becoming relatively popular because it's very difficult to scramble against. So I think guys are finally now starting to get good at what John Smith proposed that they should get good at many years ago. And so I guess in our room, we call that a low double because you're capturing both legs as you shoot. And a low single is when you fire to one leg and get one leg, and then you have to. It generally ends up in a drape position, and then you lift middle, and then you got to finish the drape.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That just
I see what you guys are saying here for sure. Yeah. But we do a lot of low doubles because I think low doubles they are getting popular. I think they're going to even get more popular.
Sounds like you do a lot of low singles too.
We actually don't. Low single sucks because it's too easy to defend.
Really?
I advise against it. If you have to, if you're desperate, you can't get to his legs any other way, then maybe make it happen. But if you don't have to be on a low single, don't be on a low single.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
Wait, no. There was another match. Okay, someone just says in the chat. What was the other match where someone was pinned quick? It was where he came out the back and kind of sat on him for a second. What the heck match was that? Nah, not that one was where he like beach wailed him for a second.
Yeah, where he reached back.
Yeah. Not that one. There's another one where he came through. It was Foca, I think.
Montalvo had Hatcher on his back in the headlock for a bit.
No, I think it was Foca.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was a pin there. I did think.
What was it? Yeah.
Anyway,
maybe I'm thinking the wrong match. Anyways, let's keep it moving.
Yes. And then Yanni comes out in an aggressive third period and widens the gap after a scoreless first period, and then I think it was the second when he got the takedown against Parco, and then third period he looked really good.
Yes.
Anything to add there?
I got nothing. No, Parco was, moving in the first period. I probably wouldn't have advised shooting a head-to-head single on Yanni. That was relatively predictable that he was going to get scored on there. And then I think it was all downhill after that.
Yeah. Okay, so congrats to Cornell. Good win. They matched up well against Arizona State, and I thought Arizona State made it a little more competitive than I expected.
Yeah. Winning 57 was huge for them. I will tell you, obviously I was in Austin for that NWC All-Star Clinic. It was the same venue. It felt way cooler that there was teams, and the team was kind of getting loud for their guys. That felt way better than the All-Star because the All-Star obviously didn't have teams, and there was not a huge crowd, so no one was really getting loud.
Gotcha.
What do you think? How'd you feel? You were actually there. As a fan, that's what I felt.
Crowd was awesome. Just having it wasn't a big number, but just having the teams there, having a group of fans. Because contrast that with the All-Star, which you were also at. It's a bunch of individuals, and all you basically had in the crowd were nervous parents and not like a fan base that you could get excited behind. So it was just that difference of having the teams made a huge difference, I thought, for the broadcast. It was exciting, and definitely can't wait for next week's Oregon State versus Princeton match either.
Wait, you guys have another match in Austin?
Yeah.
What? Is this becoming a regular thing?
Well, this is our last one of this season, but yeah, we hope so. That's why we've turned this building into an event center.
Okay, very
not
cool.
Not our office. Yeah, it's cool. I'm actually not gonna be there. I'm gonna be gone for that duel, but it's still gonna happen.
Okay.
Gonna be awesome. Okay, let's get to this weekend, because this weekend is gonna be really, really fun. Starting, well, I don't know. Where do you want to start? Because we've got Iowa and Penn State are both in action, not against each other.
Yes.
We're gonna have a lot of duels.
I think Penn State Wisconsin's a fun duel. I know there's some athletes going to that. But Cornell, Virginia Tech, that's a good duel too. That should be hitting some really good matches.
That's probably the best duel. Shout out to Cornell hitting Arizona State and Virginia Tech.
Arizona State goes to Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Too.
That's
They
a good
both
duel, too.
short turnaround, tough turnaround.
Yes, tough turnaround. Two really good teams that they're going to be taking on. Virginia Tech's obviously a really, really tough matchup for pretty much anyone. And this could be a great duel. We have a couple pick'ems here. I don't know if we want to go through those right now.
Yeah,
let's do it. I'm so ready. I'm gonna school you guys again.
These are not live on the website yet, but if you're listening to this on Friday, they probably will be.
Okay.
But sorry to all the people that listen live. Check back into the website.
Sorry, live listeners.
Yes.
JD just completed a 2-week road trip. He drove from Nebraska to Austin yesterday.
It is true.
What a beast.
And then live blogged.
And then
people were saying it couldn't be done, but
many people were saying.
If you could.
Even some of the higher ups said,
I know.
JD can't pull it off.
And look at them now.
Look at them
Who's
now.
laughing now?
So much egg. Covered in eggs. Okay. Do you want to tee up these lines?
Do we want to go chronological? Do we want to talk about maybe the bigger duels first and then get back to some of these?
I don't give a rip.
All right, we'll do chronological.
Okay.
So that's what I have here in the doc. We'll start off with Friday. Binghamton's going to NC State.
Oh wow. This is the Pat Papalizio
That's right.
reunion tour.
And I'm not sure if this match will happen, but if it does, it'll be the marquee matchup of the duel. Isaac Trumbull versus Lou Dupre. Dupre did get hurt at Scuffle, which is why I'm skeptical this will happen. But if it does, I set the line at Trumbull, 1.5.
Yeah, I think it was if I had to guess, I think it was an ankle with Dupre, but I don't know for sure. Hopefully he's back. Trumbull 1.5 favorite. Dupre looked really good until he got injured. I'll take Trumbull to cover this here.
Does it change your mind if I say Dupre majored him last season?
Yeah.
I'm calling Trumbull.
Yeah.
Also.
What say you, James?
Trumbull. Coming off an injury. Yeah, makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Trumbull's generally hard to beat up that bad. Yeah. I mean, I guess Max Dean did it. But
he can be it can happen. If it's a bad neutral matchup is when you typically see it.
Yeah. When the guy's kind of dynamic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
See, he can slow it down, when he can slow it down and work his counter sequences and stuff like that, he's pretty tough to beat. Okay, so we don't know if that match will happen, but that would be a good one. Then moving on, Cornell, Virginia Tech. He's got 3 matches here listed. Go ahead, JD.
First one, 33, Vito versus Sam Latona. The line, Vito minus 5.5.
All right,
Latona,
I looked at this
all day.
Too much.
It's too rich. Yes. JD.
You know, he's majored him and he's beaten him by 5, I think.
I know, but
yeah, Vito's had some close matches this year, and that was at 25. This is 33. Latona's looked
He beat
better
Latona by
most
5
of the
this
time.
season.
he beat him by 5 this year. But if you watch that match, it was literally a 1-move sequence that happened.
That's all it takes.
That is all it takes. But the replicability of that is down. I think the more you wrestle someone, it favors the underdog, I believe, typically. So I think Latona can do some things and avoid losing that bad. I think he keeps it within 5.5. And you can also so you should have to take Vito for.
I am taking
points.
Latona.
See, he knows. He just sets up the line so now he can just be right.
Because he was getting a lot wrong before Christmas.
Yeah, now he's just making them so easy. He's just gonna nail them. I see what he's doing. All right, Yanni versus Caleb Henson. He says 4.5-point favorite for Yanni. What do you think? That's right.
Man,
It's right in the
Yanni's been
zone.
wrestling a lot of close matches, so I don't really like that.
Here's the thing. If you watch Parco, Yanni, it was not a lot of. Parco wasn't really pushing to score a lot of the time.
No, of
And
course not.
of course not. You say, of course not, but do you think that that's a tactic Caleb Henson will implement? Because now I'm
Be
not
smart. Be smart.
if he's smart, yes. But
Uh,
he might go after him. He might go after
yeah.
Yanni. He might just shoot, and shoot and shoot.
Um,
He did
all right,
against
you convinced
Sasso.
me.
We said you should not shoot against Sammy Sasso, Caleb Benson, and he just shot the whole time.
There was
and
a
won.
lot of pushing in that match too, which was, in my opinion, the right tactic.
Yeah, I thought he attacked a decent amount too, though.
Yeah. All right, I'm going Yanni.
Yanni.
4.5. I mean, he beat Parco by 6, but that's because he had to go. What the heck? Give me Caleb to cover this. I just want to be different from you guys too.
Christian loves Virginia Tech a lot.
That's never.
I love how you just tried. I love what you did. You just tried talking me into picking Yanni, and then you went the opposite way.
Yes, that's one of my go-to moves. It's one of my go-tos.
Yeah, you know what? I looked at the score from last night, and in my head, oh, that was a really competitive match. And then I looked at the score from last night. I'm like, well, he would have covered by 1.5.
Yep.
He won by 6.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's do that.
He very well may. Makai Lewis, Chris Foca. This was a 1-point match at CKLV. JD says 1.5 for Makai as the favorite. This is. Is
it a 1-point match?
Yeah, that's basically what you have to ask. Will Makai win by 1? You're gonna try to thread the needle. Makai wins by 1. There's basically one scenario.
Only one scenario. Yes.
That's the weird thing.
But it's a highly likely scenario.
Because even if it's tied, he's gonna win by 1.
They go to overtime and he wins by 2.
I know.
You do. That is still true. You mentioned that about every week. The sudden victory.
Because it's annoying.
Which is why I'm going with Makai.
You're going with Makai. This is so tough because I feel in my very soul he's gonna win by 1 point. But
it's the value.
That is such a threading of the needle.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go Makai.
Golly, Ned. I mean, are we given any? Are we not considering Foca enough as that he could possibly win this match? It feels like we're not giving it enough weight to that possibility.
Foca could definitely win. I mean, I think it's unlikely. I don't think the possibility is huge, but it's possible.
Man.
I mean, we did see Makai lose to Labs this year.
We did see that. Foca was right there to beat him. That was a really close match in Vegas. He can't remember if he he almost had the takedown, and then Makai did the beast thing he does where he's rolled him through, I think off a double or something.
No, that was the Mako match that I sent you.
Well, no, he did it. He did it to Foca too. It's just something he
really?
does.
I remember that.
He
curls up as he goes back and slides under. You know what it actually is, Christian?
What is it?
Because I caught myself doing this. It's a jiu-jitsu tactic. So Makai maybe has been training some jiu-jitsu. Because in jiu-jitsu, if you have they're on this side of your body, kind of like in a half guard wrestling Turk position, you would bump and you would swim the underhook, and then you could start scooting behind them. You hit the double, and as you're going down, you slide underneath it. That's kind of what he does.
You know who else is training jiu-jitsu? Mr. Fast Twitch. Mr. Fast Twitch got a...
Same name, new sport.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine him going into one of those gyms?
He's just going to blast double somebody and kill them.
Yeah. I always think...
It's got to be at a fight gym, right? Not like an actual jiu-jitsu
he's
gym.
wearing a gi.
Oh, gi? Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I'm trying to find this sequence.
I have bad news.
What?
I have just been informed that Makai was not listed on the probables.
No!
For this duel.
Then I definitely have Makai winning. I gotta find this sequence.
What are you trying?
Yeah, double leg. Here we go. Yeah, he just rolls him through. Yeah, this is pretty savage. And he ends up scoring. JD, you describe it. You're good at wrestling. So it's focus in on a double.
It's just a chest wrap, and he backwards somersaults through him.
Yeah.
Focal blue through him, and he chest wraps him
That's not
through.
very exciting. That's
Dang,
the Josh Wagner special.
That hurts Virginia Tech, obviously.
Yeah.
Because Foca's a bonus point threat for Virginia Tech's backup. I'm not sure who it'll be, but that's trouble for Virginia Tech.
There's
Hope
trouble.
Mackay's
Here
healthy.
comes trouble.
Hey, and so let me get this rule right. Is in second semester, true freshmen cannot wrestle in the 5-match thing, right?
Yes,
it was
they
only
can.
first semester.
Yes, they can. They can
wrestle.
The first semester was only for they couldn't compete unattached
yes.
in a tournament.
Got it. Okay, they couldn't compete unattached. So this semester they can compete unattached.
Yes.
So the 5-match count is for the entirety of the season.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And that's why, like UNI plans to use Volker more. They've been saving his duels for the second half.
So there is an official line that you can actually bet on Betfred All Sports. It's in a couple states. I know it's in Iowa, Colorado. Betfred.
This sounds like a good way to lose your money.
They set the dual line at Cornell -5.5.
Okay.
So after hearing that, you might want to hit Cornell.
Yell Cornell even.
Some would say.
Well, wait, they're already favored by 5.5 points? Okay, well, that's...
Without going through it, if Foca picks up bonus...
25, Virginia Tech can win 25. 41's going to be tough against Cornell.
Cornell looks really, I don't want to say maybe better than I expected last night. I thought that match was going to be really close.
He rode him well.
But
he's pretty impressive.
Cornell.
Yeah. 100%. I think he's good.
I feel like he had one.
But I also think Vasquez is very variable. Like, he'll have matches he looks good. He literally beat Alan Hart this year, but then he can get, like, kind of bodied sometimes, too.
Oh, okay. So there was two that on Cornell. The loss to Phileas, he lost by 4 there, and then he lost to Lachlan McNeil. And that was when I was kind of like starting to like, is he really that good? I know he beat some other guys, but that kind of made me question it.
Yeah, his best win is Zargo, I think, this year.
Well, Zargo's having a rough go right now.
He is.
So, I mean, on WrestleStat, they have Coderhant from Navy and Vasquez both ranked higher than Zargo.
Interesting. So, so thinking about that duel, I mean, Tech can win 25, 41, 57. They'll probably be favored, even if Andonian's out. Ulray would probably.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Andonian was also not listed. And
Ulray's going to beat McClanahan.
Absolutely.
I would say 65. Who would?
That's a close match because whatchamacallit has wrestled. He wrestled Keegan pretty tough, and then he went to overtime with Griffith.
Yeah,
Connor Brady.
So Ramirez Brady is winnable
yes.
for Tech. 74, they're not going to win now. 84, they're going to win because I don't think Lowe's going to be back. 97, couple of goats. Got Andy Smith, Jacob Cardenas. That's good. That's winnable. Then heavyweight, Fernandez, Katka. I think Tech can win. It is uphill, especially without Mackay, but it's winnable. It's in.
I think it's very tough. I think very tough. You just have a hard time saying that Cornell's.
I said it's uphill.
Favorite.
It's uphill.
Okay, so -5.5.
It's very steeply uphill.
Okay,
This is a steep hill. This is not like a slope.
You're from the Midwest. You don't know what a steep hill is. You don't even.
I got whole number 10 back there. Very steep. Get your heart rate up just walking it.
Maybe yours, Ben.
Cornell -5.5. Where are you putting your money?
Cornell -5.5. I mean, I just contractually obligated.
I'm going Cornell for sure.
I'd go Cornell.
You think for sure they're going to win by 6 or more points?
Without Mackay, yes, because I think they're okay. I think they're going to win. Cornell's going to win 33. They're going to win 49. They're going to win 74. They're going to win 97 heavyweight. That's 5.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think they have a decent chance at some of those other weights. I think they're probably favored at 65.
Yes.
I think they have a decent
25.
a decent, maybe good chance at both 25 and 41. So they could win 6 to 8 matches. I think probably if I said the number of wins, the over under would probably be like 6.5.
Okay.
I think
Result.
if Connor Brady were to get an upset, it would be a kind of a big upset, and that would be the one that could kind of tip it. But
Yeah.
Cornell could still, or I guess should still win also.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, it's tough.
Can't discount Hokie Magic. It's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real thing, Ben. Okay, Illinois at
And it's at
Iowa.
Virginia Tech.
Yeah, in the Mossard Center. For all you
I've actually
thespians.
never been to Blacksburg. We were talking about this the other day.
Yes.
I've been to almost like I would say a high majority of the good wrestling programs. I've been to their college campus. Never been to Virginia Tech. Heard it's beautiful.
It's awesome for sure. Very nice campus. Hopefully an AWA guy will make his way to Virginia Tech at some point.
You never know. I like them. I like what they're doing.
Okay. So Iowa is going to be wrestling Illinois Friday, Purdue on Sunday. So Spencer watched there. He could have.
He was the only 125 listed on the probables.
Oh, he going for real. And in the press, they had the media day yesterday, and there wasn't any. Didn't seem like there was any question that he was going to be wrestling. So
Questions at 33 still.
yeah, so Teskey is listed along with Shriver. Our pre-show prediction was
Shriver against Illinois, Teskey against Purdue.
yeah, so use Teskey not against Lucas Bird for your first match back in a while. That would be my prediction, but we'll see what they do.
Can Matt Ramos keep it under bonus?
Well, that brings us to we'll skip ahead here, but that's okay.
Okay.
Spencer Lee, a 10.5 point favorite, says James Dean Rader, against Matt Ramos. What say you, Ben?
Oh man,
Ramos kind of goes to his back. He's kind of a swashbuckler.
Swashbuckler.
Yeah,
hey, you know what?
A risk taker.
You know what
That's why I'm going Spencer.
Against Spencer, because he is so dynamic early. Pitch and he kind of ran from him a little bit. Kind of wasn't a bad strategy.
Oh,
what do you think?
Yeah, but do you think he would do that?
Would Ramos do it? No, I don't think so. But it's kind of a good strategy.
Yeah.
Kind of like run away, just dance, move, don't make contact, try to stay on the outside and do that for 90 seconds, 2 minutes, something like that before you actually wrestle him.
Yeah.
And then if you can kind of stay away from him, maybe take a stall warning or a stall call, and then if you do go underneath, you're only going underneath with say 30 to 45 seconds left in that period. Like I know it's also hard to execute because Pitch Denny had really good footwork and movement, and I know not a lot of other people can do that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you would. Okay, so what's the most, and knowing that Spencer's not going to be he's not like a run you out of bounds type of earned stall calls. It's just like activity.
Yeah.
Man, could even if you were down 2-0 on like 4 stall or 3 stall calls, whatever.
Yeah, going down 2-0 to Spencer, going in the second, that's a win.
I've been advocating for that for a while. It's just like you just need just don't touch him. Don't let him touch you.
Yes.
And the thing is, in the first like 45 to 60 seconds, they're unlikely to call a stalling that early on, right? You just don't see it very often unless it's a push out stall. The refs have this like internal clock where they're not going to hit someone for stalling that
right away.
It's got to be really, really egregious. So even if it's 2-0, 3-0, and you just stalled your tail off, I'm not saying it's like the most admirable way to wrestle, but if the point is winning the match and you can't be down 12-0.
Not giving a bonus also. Not giving a bonus.
Yeah, I mean,
huge.
To not be down, 12-0, which is like Spencer's typical score going into the second period is about that. It's probably about 8 to 12 points. Get stalled. Now, you could run into a scenario. You could get DQ'd from the match if you give up a lot of early stalls and then you got 4 more minutes with this savage Spencer Lee. But I think it's not the worst tactic. It's definitely one to consider.
It's actually one of the better tactics.
I mean, look at the other tactics people try.
No one else go very well.
Yeah, they normally do not. Now, I don't know how much this could be a classic easier said than done. Because you can't you can't turn your back and literally run away from him.
That's
You
what I'm
could.
saying. The amount of people who can actually shake and move and not look ridiculous in doing it in order to stay away from him is not all that many. Courtney actually moves really well for a 25-pounder.
Oh, yeah.
Pitching he moved really well, but there's not a ton of them who have that great of movement.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking, hey, you think I'm crazy? I was thinking, can Barnett wrestle Spencer close? Because I mean, the one thing I was thinking is Barnett's really strong and good on the mat. Like, would he be strong enough to say not give up his wrist, even if he did,
No.
even if he got taken out early, like
No.
force? Hold on, like go straight up just give up some stall calls, go parterre, keep your wrist away from him, because that was what people would do against Robles. I think there's some similarities, Robles and Spencer, with how powerful they are.
Yeah.
Like the guys who had success against Robles were strong and they would like keep their wrists away.
Yeah. I mean, Patrick McKee scored 11 points on him. Soriano put up 12.
But I'm saying he goes out there with a very
Could he implement
specific
this
and
strategy?
disciplined strategy.
Oh, you're just saying, could he do this?
Is he
strategy?
strong
Is he
enough,
the best
powerful
person
enough
to
to implement the strategy?
I don't know. I feel like it needs to be a really quick athlete to do it.
Yes. Quick. No. So I think powerful.
Powerful. Yeah, I think Barnett is
the bottom
powerful.
thing. The bottom thing.
Okay.
Like he gets taken down and he just goes like, not totally flat, but like kind of like, because Spencer's gonna rip his arm back this way, or he could go this way with it also, So you have to kind of keep that balance, almost like a freestyle type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the Robles bottom tactics it was the most egregious. Like it was so funny.
Yeah.
Guys just like grabbing their hands out front.
Yes.
It was pretty funny.
The most annoying was the most annoying one of all the tactics people used against Anthony was rear standing, it's called stalling, but dudes would stand up and he only had one leg, obviously, right? So he couldn't lift and return, and they would just do this, their hands up in the air, so he couldn't get them, and he couldn't lift or return them. So he did develop what kind of pulled him back, but it was like, okay, there's someone stalling here, and I'm going to tell you it ain't Anthony Robles. It's probably the dude doing this. That's who's stalling.
It's a genius maneuver. This is a classic.
You
got to do what you got to do.
It was so annoying that they would call Anthony because it's like, no. The other guy's doing this, which is very clearly stalling. He does not want to wrestle. He just wants to stand here.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, he presented a lot of challenges for guys. So yeah, I don't know, writing up the perfect game plan. Who is if Glory's out of the picture, which I don't know if he is or not.
There's none of these dudes,
who
probably.
is? I know. Who's
probably
the best?
Barnett's the best. Barnett or Courtney?
Man. Yeah, I feel like it's probably Courtney. Although I think how bad did he lose to the kneeless Spencer Lee?
Pretty bad.
I don't know if he got majored. Hold on, I'll find it.
He did not.
I thought
7-0.
Yeah, 7-0.
So he got 7-0'd when he didn't have knees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that man, it's just, I don't even know. It's hard to even fabricate a scenario.
Yeah.
But you never know.
So who are you picking? You picking?
I went Spencer.
I'm going Spencer. Because, he might just bin him, That's an option, too.
He's a chance. I'll go Spencer as well.
Yeah. And, Ramos, he had a great performance at the scuffle, but Certain put him on his back, I think.
Yeah.
Even in that.
No, he didn't. No, Ramos got a 4-0
on
a takedown and a tilt, and then Certain, kind of came back on him. I believe he got an escape in the first period, reversal, and a ride out in the second period, and then couldn't get the takedown in the third, if I remember right.
I thought there was one.
Ramos was actually, that's another one. Ramos was really unimpressive on bottom against Certain, and he chose neutral because he didn't want to be on bottom again. So yeah, Ramos probably get killed.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. Okay, so we talked about that match.
We didn't talk about Iowa, Illinois. That's how we got there.
I love rewinding the tape.
Hey, whatever happened to Justin Cardani? Does he not wrestle anymore?
He hasn't this season. I think he's redshirting, maybe injured.
Okay. He was okay.
He's 0-0. He was 12-11 last year. Qualified for nationals.
And remember, he was tough. He was tough in that Corona year, but he went like 2-9
He was
because he was
three
just
and
not quite
nine.
as good as.
Yeah.
No, something terrible.
Oh, that poor guy.
Seriously.
Yeah, wasn't able to qualify for NCAA. That was, man. I know it was like a unique thing, but it's still like one of the dumbest decisions in wrestling history to use the qualifier allotments based on the previous year's performance when the entire Ivy Leagues didn't have wrestling. So the EIWA just got in all these dudes. Meanwhile, Justin Cardani wrestles in the Big Ten, and you just it's a harder life, that's for sure. So the signature match at Illinois at Iowa is Bronigal versus Kennedy.
Yeah.
You have it as a pick'em, does James Dean.
I think that's fair.
Bronigal wrestling really good.
He really is. He's ranked 11th. Kennedy's 17th. This is a big opportunity for Kennedy. They said he got tired in his Soldier Salute match. I haven't been able to watch it. I was Midlandsing during that.
I'm gonna go Bronigal because Bronigal he really impressed me at
He beat Peyton
Midlands.
Hall.
He looked good against Peyton Hall. He looked good. He lost, but looked good against Quincy Monday. He had a rough year last year, but I'm gonna go with Danny Bronigal.
I don't hate it, but I'm gonna go Kennedy.
I am too. I think
Bring it.
home factor.
Another win for me, baby.
We'll see. We will see.
The other Bronigal match will be pretty fun too with Jacob Warner.
Yeah.
Yep, he's having a good year.
Some Illinois guys.
Also beat Justin McCoy at Midlands 10-4. You guys getting a little nervous? Hope you are.
Yeah, I just want I need some differential to make up the gap, and I don't feel terribly strong, but I feel strong enough to go against you.
Yeah.
Okay. Penn State, Wisconsin. This is a fun duel.
This should be a fun duel.
Austin Gomez versus Shane Van Ness. James says this is a 1.5 favorite for one Austin Gomez.
Did I give Shane Van Ness too much respect? I know you're gonna say no.
You can't respect this man enough.
I knew what you were gonna say. Ben, 1.5. What do you think?
Oh, that's
It's gonna
2.5 feels like too much.
I feel like I was thinking these 1.5 point lines feel like too it feels like it almost feels more fair to sometimes go to a pick'em type scenario because
who would pick Shane Van Ness in a pick'em scenario?
No one, but that's I think you should go 2.5.
Okay.
That's what I would go. I would go.
Well, it's 1.5.
I know. I'll go Austin Gomez.
Gomez.
Do we know that Gomez is back? Is there probables? Is Gomez back for sure? Because he didn't wrestle.
I have not seen any.
Has he been out?
And they also had he didn't wrestle Midlands, and they also had Zargo and Hilger both medical forfeited out of Midlands also. And they don't really have good backup options at those weights. It'd be interesting to see if those guys are back in the lineup already.
So we have a comp with both of these individuals lost to Pinheiro.
Yes.
9-4 win for Pinheiro over Austin. It was closer. One takedown match in the Van Ness match.
Little bit different strategy wrestled by them against him.
100%. Very different strategies. Man, I kind of think Austin by a little bit here. Where is this? Is this at Wisconsin?
At Wisconsin.
This is at Wisconsin.
All right. Austin's one of those guys I feel like the crowd could actually be a little bit of a factor here. I'm just not sure. I think Van Ness is going to have a hard time right now scoring on Austin Gomez. Maybe by the end of the year he could.
Yeah.
But he had a hard time against Pinheiro. Pinheiro's a different.
Pinheiro's hard to score on, though, boy.
Pinheiro is so hard to score on. He's hard to get to.
Yes.
But Gomez is different.
I was thinking, Van Ness will probably employ a similar strategy that he did against Pinheiro, where he just kind of tries to really hand fight hard and wear him out a little bit before he starts attacking. That's probably what he'll do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one thing you got to do against Austin is you can't let him come up to the body. He likes to shoot and then come to the body. That's where he's really, really good. So you got to be cognizant of that because most people, your body is trained to sprawl and then accept someone coming to the body because it's not nearly as much of a threat as them being on the leg. But with Austin, it's probably opposite.
It's probably worse. Yeah.
Yeah, probably worse.
Shane Venus, obviously not on Austin Gomez's level, but he's competent upper body.
He's solid there. He's solid.
I still wouldn't recommend getting into a upper body off with Austin Gomez.
Yeah.
But he might be able at least to hold his ground if they only get there once or twice.
This is super tough for me. But I think this crack, it's Gomez covers.
If Shane Venus wins, how do you rank that weight? Because I think it's a very good possibility Shane Venus wins.
Because then he's beaten Austin. He's beyond that. What are his signature
lost to
wins?
Pinheiro.
That's it. That's why he's ranked. What is it like? 17, 13.
Yeah, you do that. I don't know. It's going to be a conundrum. You got to get him in the top 5 range. Got to put him in the top 5. I know you don't like to rank Pinheiro high, but
Pinheiro's number 3 right now.
This guy beats. Yeah, it took you a while. It took you long enough. So I think he jumps into the top 5 potentially, but it's going to be tough for him to do it this time. I think Gomez has to be kind of felt, and you got to understand a little bit of the dangers. And you may have to learn the hard way the first time. So I'll take Gomez here. 65, Hamady versus Facundo. Hamady a 2.5-point favorite. That feels like a lot.
Oh, really? Well, Hamady had a huge bonus rate last year, but I think Facundo is very hard to score on.
Yes.
He actually knocked Hamady out of
UWW
Juniors.
That was like 2 years ago, though.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. And I think Hamady's a much better folk styler than freestyler. And I think it's the opposite with Facundo. So I'm going to go. I got the 1 or 2 point win for Hamady. I think Facundo is able to keep it competitive.
I agree. That's my pick. I think Dean by 2 over Alex.
Yeah.
Hamady
similar to, yeah.
by 3. Hamady to cover. That's right.
Whoa. DJ and JD sticking together.
Initial alliance.
Yeah, initial alliance. Those are big. Okay. Next up, Minnesota at Northwestern. Big match there. Number 3, Patrick McKee versus number 4, Michael D'Agostino. Does this match happen? JD says probably not.
Yeah, D'Agostino hasn't wrestled since.
Can that be a bet that we make?
A prop bet?
Yeah,
we would not get good odds.
Yeah,
I go prop bet. Doesn't happen.
Let's just pretend. It's a pick 'em.
Okay.
I think these two are 2-2 in their career.
Yeah, let's look. McKee. So McKee won 3-1, and then lost 8-7, and then lost 6-3, and then McKee won 9-6. So they are 2-2.
So it's
a true
blindly shoot.
Yeah, I'll take Pat because he's been healthy.
Yeah, D'Agostino coming off an injury, so
yeah.
I feel the same way. I'm gonna go with.
Although McKee didn't wrestle at Scuffle,
true, but
and a lot of Minnesota starters did.
Yeah, but no Brayton Lee, no Gable Steveson.
Where's Sparks at today? Actually, speaking of that.
He's third. He's Wednesdays normally, but yeah, he couldn't come.
He was fired up about last night's duel.
Yeah, apparently he
dual meets.
He typed it out until he hit that character limit. There's no limit to Shane's character, however.
That is true.
All right, so we're all with McKee on this one, but we don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, Minnesota Northwestern. That's the Saturday duel to tune into.
Okay. Saturday night's all right for fighting, says Elton John.
Saturday.
Parco Pinheiro.
Ooh, man.
Moving on. This is Sunday.
I know. I already got my answer. Pinheiro wins by 1 point.
Pinheiro by 1 point.
So Parco covers.
Parco covers.
Ooh. Man.
This is another very
This is tough.
Highly likely scenario.
I like Pinheiro, but it's such a needle thread. My gosh.
You're also giving Parco the ability to win.
Parco could win. There's a chance.
I'll take Parco.
For sure.
Give me Parco. Not to win. but I just like that if he wins, I win.
Pinheiro.
Yeah, you could be right.
I think if I got good odds on a 1-point victory for Pinheiro, I would have put a pretty penny down on that though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We already did Spencer Ramos. Did we all take Spencer?
Yes.
My gosh.
Not Tyler.
Producer Tyler's all in on Matt Ramos,
Oh my God.
who
Tyler,
I'm pretty
come on.
sure he's never watched wrestle. I don't know if you can confirm, Tyler.
No idea who he is.
No idea who he
Spencer's
is.
gonna catch our asses.
All right, perfect.
That's it. That's Tyler's take of the season. It's just Spencer will take a loss at some point.
Has he said that?
Really,
Yes.
Tyler? You said that?
He doesn't even watch wrestling, but
Very
he's got a feeling. He likes the long shots. Okay, Trey Munoz versus Travis Whitlake. Munoz 2.5-point favorite.
And I'm taking Munoz.
Really?
Really?
You think he
I was
runs it
gonna
up
go
on him?
Whitlake on
I'm
this.
not. I got Whitlake.
I got Whitlake also. I think it's close.
Did y'all see the video? I think it was Adam Angle that posted it of Munoz like demonstrating some move for John Smith at a camp when he was like 10.
No way.
Because of his dad.
Yeah, Mark. Wow.
No. So funny.
If you hear some music right now coming through,
I
it's
can't hear anything.
okay. Good. Well, Cornell is practicing 30 feet over that.
Oh,
way.
they chose to stay in Austin and keep hanging out. I love
Yeah.
it. They're going food trucking today. Gonna go maybe to Barton Springs in a little bit. Have a good time.
Yep. Yeah, JD's gonna do a leg riding demonstration for him. Get him
There
up
we
to
go,
speed
JD.
there.
Show them how it's done.
Okay, so I got Whitlake here covering 2.5. I think that's I feel good about that one. You and I at Missouri. Happel versus Allen Hart, number 7 versus number 9. JD says Happel 1.5 favorite.
I'm going
really-
Allen Hart.
I think I might too. I really liked what I saw from Allen at the scuffle. I know he got listen, Andrew Lear is just a different cat this year, and I just write off of that. But he handled Berglund. I think he's got a great shot at winning. I love that with a 1-point Cale Happel win, I still win with Allen Hart, so I'm going with that.
Hart beat him 9-7 last year in the duel. I remember him winning that. So, yeah, let's go Allen Hart.
Bad line by JD, but he has to pick Happel now.
No.
He's picking Hart too.
Pick the
He
Iowa
just
guy.
sets
Gotta
himself
pick the Iowa
up.
guy. Let's go.
He just
Do
sets
it.
himself up.
I went against both of y'all on the last one. What do you mean? And the one before that, Pinheiro and Parco.
We see what you're doing. We're all onto your game.
I think it's
We see
because
it.
Kale's
We
having a
see
good year.
Because Cale's small school Iowa. That's why. And don't think I don't know that. You're small school Iowa. He's from Lisbon. You're from Hamilton County,
This is true.
named after Andy. Okay. Next match, Mahler versus Real Buto. JD, craziest line of the year. This is the Ben Askren.
I thought this was a terrible line.
terrible
Also, yes.
line.
Too much from all.
Way too much.
Way
Real
too
Buto,
much.
Real Buto could win this match.
Roberto could win, and Mahler barely beats anyone by that much.
Yes. So you have to take Mahler.
Yes, you have to take Mahler for this
Yep.
line.
Look,
For
Roberto did have a very good national duels, but he got tech falled by Lamer, and he lost to Hagen by
I think
6.
he might have checked out that match. Which
He got tech falled by Chance Lamer?
yeah, I would yell at him
What?
for checking out. Yes, that happened. That did happen. He's right.
Why did that happen, Ben? Why did
I
you
don't
let that
know.
happen?
I don't know what he was doing.
He did
My
not have
brother
a good
was shaking-
CKO.
even my
I
brother
had
was
no
shaking
idea
his
that
head a little
happened.
bit. It was not good.
Like,
Man.
you can at least say he checked out of that match, but he lost to Alec Hagen by 6.
That was
Oh, my.
also at Vegas.
Wow. But honestly, it doesn't count because what happens in Vegas has to stay in Vegas by law.
That's true.
That's the law. That's the city ordinance.
But Colin looked way better at
National duels.
national duels.
Collegiate
He
duels.
beat
Yes, he did.
Sasso and-
He did. Obviously,
he
beat
had one
Sasso
other
and
good one,
Arrington.
right?
He beat Arrington too.
Yes, beat Arrington.
What
That
is
match
up
was
with that?
weird because he was trying to kill Arrington, and then Arrington kind of came back on him a little bit. Yeah, it was weird.
He does some weird stuff. Sometimes you're just his choices are strange. Man, all right, I'm still going with Real Buto, but
Yes.
upon further review, a little more nervous about Colin.
And
I mean,
think
he beat Kellen March, who just won the scuffle also.
Yeah, he's a Robuto going to be a tough guy for our lines, I feel, this over the course of the season.
And I thought Mahler has looked really good this season.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him at that field at the scuffle, but
Yeah, maybe 3.5 was too much. Probably should have gone 2.5.
dude, if you got tech by chance, Lamer lost by 6 to Hagen, 3.5 is a very fair line. You're right. Don't second guess yourself because me and Ben are bullies. Believe. Okay, so that is all of our pick'ems. Any other duels we should mention? There's many.
You know what? I love it when you guys, I know you guys are planning to do this because you do it where you do like all the duels that are going to happen this weekend, and I can just scroll through and see all the duels.
Yeah,
Great.
we can.
I love it.
We will do that.
Rutgers Rider also going down this weekend. Michigan will be at CSU Bakersfield. Wisconsin, Illinois.
Okay. Any? I don't know what the
Unfortunately, a lot of their top guys don't really match up.
Yeah.
Bronigal
Hamady.
Yeah, Bronigal Hamady. That'll be fun. And Bronigal Amos.
Oh, that's a Midlands rematch.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna hit it.
Of tiebreakers.
Yes, tiebreakers. Okay.
Not super entertaining match.
No.
Until the very end.
Right. All right. Do you want to go?
West Virginia
Can we
at
talk
Pitt?
about hold on, Brands and Ruth? That should be fun.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm taking Ruth.
Probably Ruth.
Have not seen enough of Nelson this year.
And I think Ruth is really good.
I do too. And then we're gonna see Tom Brands versus Ed Ruth. That'd be sweet.
I would also take Ruth in that match.
Yeah, he's a little bigger, a little younger. Little younger. Okay, someone's screaming over there.
What do you think happened? Someone tore their ACL. Oh my gosh.
Don't say that. No, I think they might be playing a game. So, let's get to some questions. Sam Cooper says Haynes is going for the rest of the season. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Was that said? Was that put out there? I know he was listed in the.
Probably should have been.
Yeah, it should have been. Not that we're big planners here, but it just seems like their best option at 157. My thoughts are he's probably their best. He's their best guy. I think he can place. I think 157. When we look at the composition of it, I think he can compete with these guys.
That's what it says, that they think
Yes.
he can produce at the national tournament this year.
Yes.
Because especially with Monday going up and the 157 field is just wide open.
He lost to Vinny Zerbin this year in sudden victory, which maybe can taper some expectations. He beat Bearclaw 2-1, but then his collegiate duels, he did fantastic.
Really good.
He killed
Look, we
Corbin
know
Munson.
I shouldn't say no, but Penn State bump at NCAAs. Like, we're all going to kind of figure results are going to be a little different first month versus March.
I would assume that for sure. Yeah, he seems to be their best. He's their best option without a doubt, and I think he's ready. Okay.
And it also
Excuse
can
me.
be, I think Penn State's got some decent middleweights coming in, so it's like
Use this year.
yeah, avoid a logjam later where we don't have to. We can get some production out of a shallow field at 157 this year.
Agreed.
Yes. Another medical forfeit thought that was given to me. I don't want to belabor the topic too much, but what if they count as a loss, but not a head-to-head? So if you get a win over someone in medical forfeit, you don't get the, okay, wow, I beat, Spencer.
I don't
Lee.
hate that at all.
You don't hate that? Yeah, I think it makes sense because you shouldn't really get credit for a match that didn't happen, but it should hit your record and your win percentage.
Agreed.
Stinks when like a guy, two very even opponents would potentially face. One guy won, a 1-point match early and then forfeits out the next time, and you don't get the opportunity to get that head-to-head.
But at least you get an L on your record for taking it, and maybe there would be fewer if that was the reality. So I like that aspect of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody asked a question, what if NCAA seeding was based solely off ranked wins, nothing else, losses don't matter? You can't do
That's
that.
how they do
Losses
it.
need to matter.
Well,
But they
the
kind of
problem
do
is
it.
they kind of do
it
that.
Yeah.
They're totally weird about how the losses are factored in. Of course, who you beat is sort of a huge barometer of where you get ranked and how you get slotted in there. So to a degree, it's kind of like that. Let's see. Okay, Wrestling Dad 15. I enjoy listening to Ben talk about coaching philosophies among P&L clubs. He's mostly discussed areas where coaches are like-minded, but what are some areas where there isn't consensus? Especially curious if coaches share Ben's perspective on weight cutting.
Oh, that one, yes, 100%.
Very different view.
Like,
views.
yeah, like the last one we didn't really do weigh-ins to. We all trusted each other, and it worked out great. And the first one we did satellite weigh-ins also, and it was fine. There's one team that people are maybe a little bit skeptical of. I won't put them out in the street, but maybe. But yeah, for the most of us, we all totally agree on the weight cutting issue.
Now, are you
What
you
do we
saying that
disagree on?
this team you're referring to has a different philosophy on weight cutting, or just other stuff?
No, that they may have fudged the satellite weigh-ins a little bit.
Oh,
We're not certain though. Let me think. What do we disagree on? Not all that much. Not all that much. Yeah, I don't think there's been a heated debate yet. I mean, we've been in so many phone calls. Yeah,
really?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe the biggest one would be like Paulson and Dominguez really like Greco, and Izzy likes Greco, and then the rest of us, we don't really love it. And obviously, it would make the tournament like a day longer if we had to do a Greco portion also. But it was all very respectful discussion. What else do we disagree on? Yeah, I don't know. I think we
Okay, well, don't you think
What?
your overall training philosophy definitely varies from theirs?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, like I was just talking to Izzy yesterday, and Izzy said, something like, I got to train him hard because I don't have the technical background that you do, or something like that, or we kind of talking about that. So I think from a technical standpoint, I think maybe we lean a little more into the technique, but I think I think M2 would probably lean into technique also. I think Valiant's kind of like that. They got a lot of good technical people. I don't know. Yeah, so I guess that would be a little bit different. So if we were both in the same room in the same club, and we had to say, how are we going to run this practice or these practices? I think maybe, but I think like we have enough respect for each other where we would figure it out and not really bicker and argue that much.
That's probably why it works.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, there's been no really. I don't think there's been any heated discussions or contentious arguments or anything like that at all. I think everyone's been good. And we all mostly agree. I mean, we totally agree on like the weight cut. We don't want a weight cut. We don't want season matches 12 months a year. We hate the all-star dual things. We don't think our P&L started at 5th grade. We don't think they should be younger than that traveling nationally. Yeah, we're kind of all on the same page.
Okay. Well, good.
Yeah.
That's probably why it.
Yeah.
Probably why it works.
Good. Yes. Honestly, I think. Let me. So I think anyone who is been around like youth wrestling for that long, like multiple years, and has also wrestled at a high level, like I think it's hard for them to not see it that way. Now, some of them get forced into. Here's like some of those coaches who they maybe they know a better way. They feel forced into doing it the way that's already been done because they got to make a living if they're going to do it as a club. And little Billy says, well, so-and-so had an 8-year-old state champ and they trained really hard at 8 years old. And so then the person running that club feels like, well, I have to do that. I have to keep up with that. Even though they know it's bullshit, they feel like they have to keep up with it. So they cater to those. A lot of the dads, the dads we have at AWA, I have almost no complaints. Like it's very minimal. But even on the calls, from what some of the other coaches say about the dads they have to deal with, it's like the dads say, no, I know better. And if you're not going to do it this way, then we're going to go to a different club or we're going to do something else. And I'm,
Man.
and I'm like, I don't have to deal with that. Thank God I don't have to deal with that because that would be terrible. And they make me feel that way that some of them have to do that.
I guess my question is like, the athletes are a customer, right? That's like how they're
Yes.
making a living. But having a good one versus a, whether the kid's an elite and with this crazy dad that's super driven or whatever, or it's just a regular kid that's just trying to get into a sport, like it doesn't affect their bottom line. So why I don't understand why they feel the need to acquiesce there. Like,
No, it does. It does affect their bottom line, Christian, for sure.
Elaborate because
Well, okay, so you have a club, right? Now in this area, for example, there wasn't a lot of wrestling where Max has his club, and so he kind of literally had to build the wrestlers from scratch, which has been good and bad because you don't have that like historical development. Okay, but so there's two clubs and they both open up at the same place. Okay, one has my philosophy more long-term development, but they don't have my credentials, right? But they have this philosophy. And it does not make kids that great at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but who really gives a damn? Really, even 11, 12. The tides start turning like 8th, 9th, 10th. That's when it really starts clicking in, right? So that takes a while. That takes a lot of patience to say, I know this is going to work later. It's not great right now. We're not seeing the results because in wrestling, there's all these youth tournaments. So you see the results. Okay, so the guy doesn't have the credentials. Club B says this is the way we do it. We grind, we wrestle our 6-year-old 50 matches. And so that guy who would not be good for long-term development is his 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, they're all killers. And they beat up all the other 8, 9, 10-year-olds and they win all the tournaments. What do you think most parents are going to take their kids to? Do you think they're going to be able to see the vision of the long-term development? Because most parents don't.
Well, I think that's where if it's a coach and you don't know, their accolades or their credentials, it's one thing. But if it's you or a Brandon Paulson or a Izzy,
but even if it's a good Division, let's say a solid Division I wrestler, maybe kind of close to All-American, but didn't quite get there, but he knows his stuff. And the other guy was like, he was a good high school wrestler, but never made it at college, never did anything. That's probably a more proper scenario.
right? Yeah, you would probably go with the Division I person with
No, they don't. They don't. I'm telling you for certain, they will. Most parents will fall for the that guy he's got 9-year-old state champs and 10-year-old state champs, and I want my kid to go train with those kids. Like that is a big thing. Say 3rd through 7th grade. I mean, even at AWA, Christian, you see all the things that we do and all the Division I kids and all the high level. There's still a lot of kids who won't come over to us until like 8th or 9th grade because it finally starts clicking that our kids start doing this, and then these other kids who have been better are getting left behind, and they're like, oh my God, I got to go over there because there's obviously something there, That literally happens with us, and we are one of the more established clubs in the country at this point.
Yeah.
So to a new guy, the parents aren't buying that vision. They don't see it. It's so hard. It really is.
Guess so. That's it's too bad.
It really is. I mean, yeah, and they'll I could. I mean, it kind of sounds like complaining a little bit, but I could talk about that for hours.
Yeah, it's. I guess maybe I.
But I can tell you, this is my business, and they are choosing the club that grinds them for sure, especially in places like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, Ohio, like those wrestling hotbeds who, they say, well, that was the way I did it. I worked hard when I was that age. Now you need to go do it too.
Yeah.
Like that's for certain happening.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
I guess not the biggest surprise either. Okay.
What?
It's a funny from this guy asked, moving up the ladder, what's the heaviest weight Bartlett could win a title at? It's a good question. I think around 74. 74, 84 range.
No.
No.
All right.
I think 41's I think 41's the perfect weight for young Bo.
There's at least one decent wrestler at 149.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
49 is kind of good this year.
Pretty good. What is the worst season record someone has had and won NCAAs in a single branch? Well, this is definitely going to be Mark Branch.
Mark
right?
Branch. Yeah.
What was his record? Was it like 7
It was
and 9?
8-9 going into NCAA, so 8-9 plus.
8-9?
Yeah.
Classic 8-9 NCAA champion.
Classic.
You just got to get hot at the right time. That's so crazy to think about that happening. But
I bet Shane Sparks loves that.
that
He can point to that anybody can win.
That's been fueling. Mark Branch has been fueling Shane Sparks' crazy takes since the 80s. It's like, Mark Branch. You don't think... I'm not even going to say the kid's name because it's not fair for him to catch the stray every time.
Then someone gets mad at you for no good
Daggone
reason.
it, it's Shane's fault.
It is Shane's fault.
He makes it so we have to say...
You know what I was thinking about is your fault. Your fault is that I have to go against Bo Bartlett so much because you have these outlandish takes on him.
What is my outlandish take? The only take I've ever had is that he's going to win an NCAA title at some point. And you and Bracky, haters, I said at some point he's going to win a national title. And that was just like you guys.
No, I don't think that is. I think
exploded.
it's just, no, Christian, you've picked him in so many matches he's not won in. You are like on.
I bet my success rate with Bo is pretty good.
3-11. You were like 3-11 on Bo Bartlett picks.
I bet not.
I bet you are.
we'll look. Well, at the end of this year, we'll see how we are. You could do a Bo Bartlett line every single week. I bet I'm going to be about right.
Oh my goodness! All right, I'm done with the Bo Bartlett because I actually don't think he's that bad. I have nothing against him, but you just have these outlandish takes, so it seems like I'm against him.
I think they're outlandish.
Then I'm like, I'm not actually against him. Why? What the hell?
I find my takes to be very landish.
Where did outlandish come from?
Yeah, I know. When you think about it, it's like landish isn't really a word, is it?
Yeah. Why is that a word?
No one
Looking
says
or sounding bizarre or unfamiliar. So where did it come?
It should be familiar now. It's very familiar for you to hear me say things about Bo Bartlett. Related terms: inlandish and uplandish.
Inlandish? No one said. I've never heard anyone say those words.
I've never heard anyone say landish until I just did. I was like, I don't.
Is that actually a word?
I don't think so. I don't think landish is a word. That was actually one of our questions.
No, it is landish, pertaining to a characteristic of land quotations.
Right, and that's how I meant it. And
that is exactly how we need to go. We need to go.
We need to go.
We're talking about landish. That means
landish. We knew it was only a matter of time. We thank you guys so much for tuning in on this Thursday. Thanks for watching last night. All of those, many of you that did.
Come watch party Friday night.
We're partying. Who's partying with you?
One Andrew Spey.
Oh, those are two party boys right there.
Oh.
All right. Fun weekend of wrestling. We have a lot of preview content. We'll have some recaps from all the weekend's duels. Thanks so much. We will be back Monday. Come heck or high water. Thanks so much. We'll see you then. Thank you. Goodbye.